السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وبعد. أمن يوم سليمان كسولين قبل الجو وكفر ميري ميتوا أوسكا كفر نيولا إبي مكوبيغامبو bisobola okubanga bikozesebwa bijja okusinkana mirimu eno byonna ategeeza okuba agimanya olina okusobola okumanya waliwo terms zoteekeddwa okusooka okubanga omanya mu bigambo tumanyi nti buli byonna erina ebigambo ebiri specific ebikozesebwa n'olwekyo n'erimu eno eya faraidu nayo bwetyo erina ebigambo ebirina amakulu ag'enjawulo ng'omuntu yenna okutegeera erimu eno ateekeddwa okusooka okumanya ebigambo bino butya bwe bitambula. So for today remember kimanye tutambula n'ekibiina ekiyitibwa جمعية استشارة الإسلامية للميراث في أوغندا. ekibiina ekyo kyavaayo okubanga kitulungamya mu irimu eyitibwa obusika mu mbeera ez'enjawulo nga bwejja etuyigirizibwa abamanyi okuva mu Qur'ani ne hadithi z'omubaka Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallama wamu n'okwegatta kw'abamanyi okw'enjawulo ku bintu eby'enjawulo ebyali bijja bisomesebwa. Olwaleero ekibiina kino kyavuddeyo kubanga ate kituyambako okubeera nga abalina enkaayana mu famirizi zaffe, abantu abatamanyi emigabo gye balina kufuna nabiki balina kufuna, abaana abalenzi bafuna ki, abawala bafuna ki, ebirambo bikolebwa bitya, probably n'okubanga tusupplyinga ebirambo tubibawa abantu ababagadde okubanga bifuna at a cost, a small cost, n'abantu abagadde okubeera nga tubagayidinga mu mbeera ez'enjawulo nakyo tukikola. Fragmentation of the distribution is also done. Okugaba ebintu okugabanya nabyo bwetutubirimugyegikona n'ebirimu era mingi omuntu abagadde osobola okuyita ku namba zino wammanga n'osobola okubanga ate mwana wattu ofuna okuyambibwa mu mbeera efaanako bwetyo. Omusomo omukulu gwe tuliko ogwa Al-Qur'an al-Kabir, omusomo gwaffe omukulu gwe tuliko guliko sharh ba'd al-kalimat, okunnyonnyola ebimu ku bigambo ebikozesebwa mu irimu eno, that is explaining some of the words that are or terms that are used in inheritance. Ebigambo ebimu bikozesebwa mu irimu eno tusobola okubanga tubimanya. How do they term it? The people of the language of Arabic, and then the people of the scholars of inheritance. So olwaleero our main topic today shall be al-unwan Al-unwan, that is the, sorry, not al-unwan, al-unwan was a written, but al-mawdu', we have the subtopic, al-mawdu', al-mawdu'. Yes, our subtopic of today is ar-riqu. 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 What do they mean by ariqu? When the people of this knowledge talk about ariqu, what do they mean? It's what now I want to understand. Omuntu wayagala nti ariqu aba ategeezaaki? Bwe tuba tuyingidde mu erimu eno ya faraidu, omuntu bagamba nti ariqu, ng'omuntu abamanyi ba erimu eno bagamba nti ariqu, what do they mean? Baba bategeezaaki? So ariqu we shall understand as al-milk wal-ubudiyya. Are we together? In the language of Arabic they term it as al-milk wal-ubudiyya. Al-milk, one of them are al-milk wal-ubudiyya. Al-milk wal-ubudiyya. Of course, that is being governed. All together, that is being governed. Or is governance. All together, it means governance, being governed. All together, and people wal-ubudiyya. And the loss of rights, altogether, and loss of what? Rights. Waraqiq al-mamluk. And then the person who is being governed, altogether, a governed person, the one who has no rights, is the one termed as al-raqiq. The person under this situation is termed as al-raqiq. Al-raqiq, altogether, or al-mamluk. Al-mamluk. So mamluk means ownership. Altogether. Sorry, al-milk means ownership. Altogether, and the governance, ownership and governance. So al-mamluk, al-milk wal-ubudiyya, that is governance and owning. Altogether, owning and governance, something which has no rights. Altogether, yes, and loss of rights. So the person who is under this situation of governance, altogether, the one who is being governed, altogether, the governed person. And the person who has no rights, the ubudiyya, altogether, loss of rights, it means that person is called al-raqiq. Al-raqiq is that person who has no rights altogether, a person who has who is being altogether, or being what? Being governed, which is al-mamluk. Al-mamluk, in other words, we can mean a slave or muddu. So obuddu arriqu kitegeeza obuddu wennyini waali nga bwe mumanyi obwedda kuba omuzi obutaba na kusalawo kwonna altogether kyekita almilik okubanga ofugibwa oba okufugibwa walolobodiya n'obutaba na kusalawo, okufugibwa n'obutaba na kusalawo. Waraqiq, bwe bayita raqiq ye muntu oyo altogether omuntu abeera afugibwa ate nga talina rights ze zonna, nga talina rights, kubanga oli abafugibwa nga balina rights zaabwe ng'omwana awaka alina rights ze altogether. Naye ono raqiq taba na right yonna. Ne bamugamba nti abeeri mukasana tavaawo, ne bamugamba nti alibbi mukama we yamugambye is can, ne bamugamba nti bamukube oba bamutte, he can do whatever he feel like altogether. But when it comes to the children are free. She can refuse, she can does what, provided have disobedient children altogether who are not obedient to the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They can also deny whatever they feel don't like altogether. Kukyonna kye bataagala basobola okugaana. Naye ate we kijja wano al-mamluk omuddu ye byabuwaze, it's the force from the slave master. So a slave master is the one who is governing al-raqiq. Wal jama'atu wa yajma'u ala ar-riqa'u ويطلق على الواحد والجماعة. So al-mamluk can be a singular form or can be in what? In a plural form. ويجمع على أرقاء. When they are many, we can say al-ariqa'u. Ariqa'u. Bwe baba abangi nga baddu tubayita ariqa'u. Abaddu. Altogether mu Luwarabu ariqa'u. These are the many slaves. They are the many slaves. The ones who are being governed, or the so-called slaves altogether. So these slaves, since they are being under a governance of someone, the slave master altogether, they have no rights altogether. They do whatever their master tells them to do. They have no act. They have no right of denying anything. They don't have altogether. So during the reign or the time of slavery, the people who were slaves, they used to face this. So mumbere abantu aba bali mumbere yo bafacinga ekintu ekifaanako bwekityo kye bayita arriqu. Tugambye arriqu okufugibwa n'obutaba na right na kusalawo, okummibwa obutaba na kusalawo n'okufugibwa. Tu arraqiq omuddu oba ayitibwa omuddu, raqiq ye muddu yennyini bamuyita raqiq oba al-mamluk o afugibwa. So al-mamluk can be in general, bamuyita mamluk. This can be a general term, mamluk, in general can be mamluk. Then can also be, can give another plural form, which is ariqa'u in Arabic language. When they are many, now this is according to Lughatan altogether. Of course, I've been explaining this in the Arabic language altogether. Lughatan. This has been Lugha terms. These are the Lugha terms altogether. Lugha terms. That is Lughatan. Now we're going to see in the laws of ilm al-fara'id, how do they turn it? بتوكينا موضوع الرق اصطلاحا. الرق اصطلاحا. اصطلاحا. الرق اصطلاحا. بتوكينا ماتيكا aga ilm al-fara'id altogether omuddu no bamuyita chi. When we go to the laws of inheritance, according to the scholars of inheritance, how do they term arriq in the laws of inheritance? Butugenda mmateka gano babayita batya? A slave, a slave. We said arriq is a slave or slavery, not slave, slavery. That's the slavery. Altogether, slavery is arriq. Then al-mamluk is a slave. Then al-raqiq is also a slave. When they are many, we say ariqa'u, abaddu. So to say عجز حكومي مانع للولاية مانع للولايات من القضاء والشهادة وغيرها. عجز حكومي عجز شرعي مانع They say عجز شرعي مانع. عجز شرعي. عجز شرعي مانع. عجز شرعي مانع للولايات. للولايات. عجز شرعي مانع للولايات من القضاء والشهادة. من القضاء والشهادة. والشهادة والشهادة وغيرها. They say that what they term as a riq in the laws of ilm al-fara'id or in the laws of the scholars of ilm al-fara'id, they say that kama ajizu shar'i ya mtu kubanga amateeka ag'eddiini amakulu bwe bunafu mu mateeka ag'eddiini, omuntu kubanga talina kifo kyonna mu mateeka ag'eddiini, ekifo ekyo kyabalira nga kimuziyiza ekimuganyisa okubeera nti lilwilayat, nga tasobola kuba mukulembeze, nga tasobola kuba mukulembeze talina kifo kyonna kyayinza kubeeramu, min alqada, mukulamula, washahadat, washahada, ne mukubanga awo obujulizi, awo together nga tasobola. Ajizu hukumiyi, that's when it comes in terms of Shari'iyya or Shara', I mean the laws of Islam, that is the person who has no place, altogether has no place in terms of al-qadha. Terms of qadha, that is that is in judgment or taking a part in judgment, wa shahada or giving evidence, altogether wa ghayriha and others. Because these are they were taken as animals, because you cannot bring an animal to give an evidence altogether. Again, we can't give an animal to leadership. They had no act of leadership altogether. It is that person or those other people, the slaves, the ones we're terming as, they have no rights. That is ajizul hukmi shar'i. They have no rights in the religion. They have no laws which are governing them in the religion altogether. Shar'i, in terms or in the sectors of al-wilayat, in leadership altogether, no al-qada, min al-qada, wilayat al-qada, leadership of that is al-qada, that is in the leadership of judgment, not in the leadership of inheritance. They have no part. They can't play part out of these things altogether. Those are the ones termed as the al-raqa'iq or al-riqa'u. So those are the people termed as slaves. Be bantu bayita abaddu, be bantu abatalina kifo kyonna mu bifo by'obusiraamu mu kulamula oba mu kuwa obujulizi, bali tebakonsideringibwa. Abo bayita abaddu. I don't think whether those people are still there in the world. We don't know, because slavery was stopped a long time ago. I remember it was fought even in Africa by the British and others. Those who came to scramble and partition Africa, they used to stop this slavery to take place. I don't know, but I think that it's not there, but the laws are still there, because you never know, it may come back, provided that the Allah's predestination are still on us, and perhaps the laws that are governing them are still in the what? In the scripture, or in the Quran, which is our constitution. So this is that. Kitegeeza kibayita ar-raqiq oba ar-riqu obuddu mu mbeera efaanako bwetyo. Nolwekyo let us go ahead and look what we call al-wala. Because al-wala, why do we bring in al-wala? Al-wala is in touch with what we call ar-riqu altogether. So this, why do we learn this? Because this ar-riqu, let me give you even the law governing ar-raqiq. Ar-raqiq is someone who is under slavery, a slave altogether, is termed ar-raqiq in Arabic, ar-raqiq. So this person cannot succeed, is not regarded as a successor to anyone. It is no longer a successor. Is no longer a successor. Why is it so? Because himself or herself is a property. is the property being owned. Now, how can your car owns something? It cannot. Of course, your car. When we mean a car, we mean whatever is comprised of the car, among its spares altogether. But the car, you can't say that wife was for my car. No, there is no way. Even a slave, they were used to take as properties, let's like a car, just like a boat, just like pigs, just like others altogether. That's what used to happen. That is one way of denying one's rights altogether. So abaddu balinga batwalibwanga property, therefore bali tebasobola kuba basika ba mupiira n'owalinga ne kitaawo ng'omuyina batasobola kubeera musikawo, because whatever he owns, they are what? They are his master's properties. Buli kyonna kyaba nakyo kati embuzi yo, for example, if you have a goat, when it moves and comes with what? With money. When it moves like that and you see it chewing money when it is at your home, can you leave it to chew it? You can't just let it is for it. Let it, if it wants, let it chew it altogether. But you instead remove that money because you're beneficial. You have benefits over that money altogether. So you just extract it. That's what happened to the Arraqir, these people who were slaves. Because when they were brought to inherit anything, what they inherit probably was the property to their what? To their masters. Therefore, they are not regarded as successor at all. Now let us go to what we call al-wala. Al-wala, we are going to see al-mawdu, another unwan, because we are understanding the sharh, بعض مفردات علم الفرائض. So we have what we call al-wala. Al-wala. Al-wala, what does it mean? Because this one, we have brought it because it is in conjunction with what we have just now seen, al-raqiq. So al-wala, what does it mean? Huwa al-'itq. They say huwa al-'itq. Al-wala ma'nah al-'itq. Al-'itq. That is freeing. Altogether, al-'itq means freeing. 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 Altogether, that's the freeing. Letting something go free, altogether, or setting free. It is freeing or setting free. Setting free. That is it, what we call al-wala. Of course, this one happens to someone who had a raqiq or al-mamluk, someone who owns slaves. Altogether, omuntu alina abaddu oba omuntu alina abaddu babazana. Is what we call al-wala. Nabata freeing. If you leave them to go freely, altogether, you return their rights. Rights and they have another. This one raqiq or riq has, this is the meaning altogether, but it has other words altogether, which the alternative words. Alternative you can say an-nusrati. Alternative you can say an-nusrati. Saving. An-nusrat. An-nusrat. That is saving. Altogether, saving. Saving someone from hardships. Saving. Altogether, saving someone from hardships. Why is it? Because when you let someone being free, it means that you have saved him or her from the many problems that he has been suffering from. Altogether, yes. Wal-qarb, al-qurb. They can say al-qurb, being nearer, altogether, or coming nearer to some. Because of that sympathy you have shown, being sympathetic to a slave, that is, it's like you are becoming al-qarb. Qarb ma'nahu min al-aqarib, aqribai. Qarb, that means someone who is nearer to you, but in terms of birth. But this one is becoming nearer to someone, that's in terms of letting him or her free. Al-qurbu. You can say al-qurubu. Qurub, that is coming nearer. Coming nearer. Coming nearer. We shall see what they mean. Coming nearer. Let's take it. Okujja okumpi, okusembera okumpi, kubanga qarubu min al-quruba. qurba abantu abali okumpi min al aqarib aqribai bibunganda abokumpi out together kati qurbu lwaki bagamba kireta in terms of wala kitegeeza saving out together saving and freeing setting free setting free bino bina amakulu gati n'ekigambo nti omuntu atadde omuddu n'amujja mu buddu out together bambalanga owooluganda wal qaraba even they have extracted the meaning wal qaraba al qaraba this one being relative out together relativity, that is relativity. This is relativity. Relativity means being relative to someone, being related to someone. That's relativity and wala. Out together, yeah. Wal milk. Okubeera okumpi n'omuntu, okubeera ng'owekika ky'omuntu. Wal milk. Milk means wal milk. Wal milk. Al milk. Al milk. What do we mean by al milk? Al milk kitegeeza okubeera, I mean owning. How to give it owning or ownership. Al milk ownership. Ownership. Al milk, that is ownership. Okubeera okuba n'obwannannyini. Wal halif. Al halif. Al halif, someone who can take, that is taking oath. Al halif. Al halif. Wal halif. Wal halif. All together? Yes. Halifu, someone who can take care. Halif. Yeah? Take care. Take care. Yeah. So these are some of the meanings that we extract out of the word. The alternative. Alternatively, what we can say out together, the words what we can alternatively be said to mean the same one. Al-wala, saving, out together, freeing, setting free of someone. Ogutoa omuntu. It's like setting free someone who has been jailed or imprisoned the person. Omuntu ali mu komera ne bamuletinga free kubanga bawonya okulima amakomera gafa wano Uganda ngamanyi babonyabonya bakuba bakola ki batwala mu olima buli kimu. You have no right. You have no right. You can't even deny. You are like a slave. You are nearer to a slave, though you are a bit different. In some of the countries, not every country, because the outside countries, when someone is being jailed altogether, you are like someone at home. But East African countries, you are being treated altogether. You are being treated. Back treating in any way they feel like. They can treat you badly. They can treat you. I think they can treat you in the way they feel like altogether. Yes. So, being that you have saved someone from slavery, it's like now by setting him free. It's like someone who has now taken care of that person. Someone who has now owned some ownership altogether. Now you have, it's like now you are letting something you had owned altogether to be free. You are freeing it. Wal qaraba, wal qurba, al faraba, being setting free this slave. It's like now you are becoming as if you are his relative, because you can't let torture. You can't let your relative to be tortured. There's no way you can let him altogether. And now by setting free, it's like now becoming a friend to him. I think it's one of now your beloved ones altogether. Wal qurbu, that is coming nearer by setting him free. Then an nusra, saving him altogether. Min nasra yansur mansur altogether, setting him free. That is according to the Lugatu al-Arabiya, the language of Arabic. That is how they term it. Let us see, according to the scholars, the ulama of ilm al-fara'id, abantu oba abamanyi aba ilm al-fara'id, bo bakinyonnyola batya kino kyebayita al-madha al-wala. Al-wala'u istilahan. Al-wala'u istilahan. Now, when it comes to al-wala istilahan, in the laws of ilm al-fara'id or in the laws of inheritance, what do they mean? هو عصوبة سببها نعمة المعتق على رقيقه بالعتق. هو عصوبة سببها نعمة الولاء. هو عصوبة هو عصوبة هو عصوبة سببها نعمة المعتق. سببها نعمة المعتق على عتيقه. نعمة المعتق على ماذا؟ على عتيقه بالعتق. عصوبة سببها نعمة المعتق على ماذا؟ على عتيقه. So al-usuba, we used to explain this. What do we mean by usuba? We have ever learned it and saw what al-usuba meant. Altogether, we saw what al-usuba meant. Al-usuba, we said when we talk about al-asaba, at-ta'asib fil irith. That is at-ta'asib. When we talk al-usuba, to mean al-irith fil ta'asib. استحقاق الوارث سهما غير مقدر. واستحقاق, we have said al-usuba. والعصوبة in شرح. Altogether, when we explain, it means استحقاق الوارث سهما غير مقدر. That is inheriting altogether unmeasured or a portion which is unknown portion in terms of measurements altogether. In other words, getting a huge part of, or a huge portion altogether from the wealth of the deceased. That is it. From the wealth of the deceased. That is what is al-usuba. So they say, the ulama say, the usubatu, that is getting a portion of wealth which is not known in its what? In its measurements. Whether it's big, whether it's small, or no. However much they can be, all he can take them. Or a portion which is the remainder, altogether the remaining portion after the distribution, he can take it. Altogether, that is al-usuba. That is receiving any portion which is not known in terms of measurements. Ekitamanyiddwa kipimo. Awulire? Huwa usubatu sababiha. But what is the result? As a result of ni'matul mu'tiq. Altogether, ni'matul mu'tiq, of what someone did by freeing or setting free his or her slave. Altogether, ala atiqihi bil itq. Altogether, that is as a result. That we say that al-usuba, that is receiving a portion of wealth, or portion from the deceased's wealth, which is not known, which is unknown in its measurements altogether, whether it's big or more or small, or how it is wide or how it's narrow altogether. So we don't need to know, but we know whatever is the remainder, the usuba, it can be the remaining portion, or it can be anything else that after the distribution that we deliver, we give the person who has set a slave free altogether. She can be a woman, or he can be a man. So this portion is given to him as a way of thanking him or her for what he did to set this slave free. Altogether, setting him free to be or to receive his or her rights in the society. So that is the term used in the people of or the laws of inheritance according to the scholars of inheritance. Kwe kumanya okwo abamanyi ko batuwadde nti ekyobugagga kyonna ekiweebwa omuntu aba atadde omuntu okuva mu buddu n'abeera nga moderate zonna n'amufuula waabwe n'abeera ng'afuna ebyobugagga ebyasobola obifuna. Of course omuddu eyaliko omuddu gy'ali bw'abeera ng'afudde nga talina muntu yenna musika ebyobugagga byonna bisobola okumuweebwa, ate bw'aba nga alinayo musika naye nga tamalawo byabugagga, ekisigaddewo kyonna tukiwona yali mukama we, the one who set him free. Tumusobola okumuwa portion eyo olwaki because of what he did, okujja kwekyo kye yakola. So hadha huwa al-irth, tugambye istihqaq al-irth sahman ghayra muqaddarin, okufuna ekyobugagga ekitaliiko kipimo min tarakati muwarithihi, okusinziira kwoyo gw'obusikira omusikaawo, okuva ku musikaawo. That's what we term as al-irth bitasib. Era ne banga batugamba imma bi akhidhi ma abqatuhu al-fara'id, either you take what is the remainder, either to take the remainder or the remaining portion, أو بأخذ جميع التركة, or to receive the whole of the property, or to take a whole altogether, or either by portioning, by taking a portion, the remaining portion, or to take the whole of the property. That is depends on the situation. That means when you are taking the whole of the property, it means that that day that the someone who was once a slave to you had left no successor altogether, or he had, yes, but by all means, all the property is returned to you. And when he or she leaves a successor, that's when you take a portion, the remaining portion of the wealth. Omuntu okubanga osikira ebyobugagga byoyo eyaliko omuddu gy'oli, okubanga otwala ebyobugagga bye byonna bw'aba talina musika, oba okutwala ekitundu ku byo nga tumaze okulaba nti abasika abasikira ebyobugagga byo tebamalaawo byonna. Altogether kibayise almana al-usuba, sekintu badde tunya kibayita al-usuba fi madha fi al-irth. So idha adima ashab al-furud, gwabanga wali wafuna migabo, that's what we have termed as al-furud, I mean al-usubatu fi sahmi madha fi sahmi al-wala'i, mumbere yokutasaaki omundu eyo yenambula y'abaki y'abamanyi abagenda mu farad. Therefore if you have a slave, you better let him or her go free altogether, because when he dies, I don't know whether slavery is still there, but if it is there and it happens that you have some of these people, please let them free, because when they die after collecting their wealth, you have a portion on them altogether. You can either take the whole of the portion, or you can either just partly. You take a part, in other words, the remaining portion after the distribution of the property to his or her successor. If they take the whole of it, then the remainder can be given to you, distributed to you, just as a way of thanking you of what you did. وَهَذَا مَا يُسَمَّى بِالْوَلَى. That's what we mean by al-wala. When we talk about it, that's what we mean. وَهَذَا, we shall end here. We thank Allah, the one who has given us life, who has kept us alive until we completed this lesson. And may He deliver His peace and blessings upon His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.